Nothing new. 6 hours. So.
Steve, last year you heaped praise on Nico Batum as being one of the great additions of that last offseason. This year, he's kind of still doing some of the same stuff, guarding 1 through 5 at times. I'm just curious what you've seen over the arc of his career. He doing guarding the Embiids, the Jokic's, and also point guards at 34, 35. Can you put in context how hard the job he's doing?
Yeah, it's I have so much respect for him, and a lot of it is based on FIBA too. You know, playing or coaching against him while he's playing for France and seeing what he does for that team. He's a brilliant basketball mind. He just has a feel at both ends. He's kind of a step ahead of the game. Reminds me a little bit of Andre Iguodala in that way. Always making the right play, always in the right place at the right time, and capable of guarding everybody. So he's a really important player for the Clippers.
How much, if at all, did you get a chance to?
I'm sorry?
How much, if at all, at the Olympics last year, did you get a chance to talk with him or kind of be around him outside of the game? So.
Just said hello in the hallway. I'm pretty sure he was a free agent, so I might have winked at him or something. I'm unsure of tampering rules as it relates to the Olympics, and so just gave him that look, and then he just laughed, and then we moved on.
Steve, Ty joked tonight that he was going to start Zoo on Steph because the joke was that he actually did that against Luka in the last game. Not sure if you saw that last game, but was that surprising to you that he started Zoo on Luka? And does that talk to the way that Ty coaches and how unpredictable he is?
Yeah, I watched that game last night, and it was interesting, not surprising, given that Ty is not afraid to try some different things. Generally, he's going to mix it up, mix up coverages and matchups during a game anyway, and wouldn't actually surprise me if he did that, actually. So there's a method to his madness. I think Ty sees a lot of value in, like our staff does, in kind of mixing up the game a little bit, making people feel a little bit uncomfortable, changing defenses, that sort of thing. So I watched that game. It was very, very interesting, and I would say effective.
What have you seen from Porter and Bielitsa of late, especially both kind of coming off, I guess, like mini ailments, and just how you thought they looked?
Well, I think Belly's only been back 2 games, and I think Otto has been in and out, given the back-to-back restriction. Both guys help us immensely just with their feel and their passing. Belly is one of our best post-up players, so when people switch on us, we like to throw the ball to him in the block. And Otto is kind of our version of Batum in a lot of ways. He guards everybody. We had him at the 5, the last 5 minutes of the game the other night, guarding Anthony Davis, and he's got so much feel for the game and the ability to knock down the outside shot, and then defensively, he always in the right spot. So they've both been a big help for our team, and it's been great having them, and giving us the flexibility that they do.
How helpful will this break be in the context of it comes later in the season now, right? I think it's 59 games in. I mean, how much does your team and most teams do you think need it? And you guys coming out of the break with a bunch of games on the road. Yeah. How much will that help, do you think?
I think everybody needs the All-Star break this year. Just, it's been a long couple of seasons with COVID and everything that comes along with that. Seems like every team has been decimated with injuries and COVID-related absences. And the games are pretty much every other night, with the way the schedule is these days. So I think the break is coming at a good time, and because it's so late in the season, I think we're looking at 23 games after our break, and that those last 20 games are kind of when you feel like the stretch run is happening. So we're right there, and I think that's kind of a nice thought, just to get our final kick in, hopefully get healthy and be ready for the playoffs.
Coach, Ty has been talking lately about that he thinks this season is making him a better coach and everything that everybody's dealing with, but especially the Clippers. And obviously, you never want to lose key pieces, and you have to deal with injuries. But does that? I mean, every season's different, but does that kind of going through something like that help you kind of see things differently or learn things about the game?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a different vantage point. I mean, Ty and I have been really lucky. We've both coached really talented teams for the most part, and teams that were favored to win most nights, and teams that were going to go deep in the playoffs because of the talent that we've each had. So, for me, the last 2 years, for Ty this year, faced with injuries and having to come up with different game plans, different lineups, really think about ways to win a game rather than just, staying solid and letting the talent, take over. I think I agree with Ty. I think it does make you a better coach. It forces you to experiment with some things and to try to, make adjustments during a game that maybe you wouldn't have to make otherwise.
What areas besides rebounding do you want to kind of sharpen up over these next 2 games?
Transition defense has been really bad, and we're getting back cut quite often. So just in general, we always talk about a tight shell defensively, and our shell has not been tight. We got leaks all over the place. So people are just running right past us for rebounds, transition buckets, back cuts. We've got a lot to clean up.
Anything offensively that's kind of a key?
I've been pretty happy with the offense. We've had, mostly good games. Turnover-wise, we're doing a pretty good job taking care of the ball and spreading the floor. And, other than the Utah game, I think we've been able to put forth some pretty good offensive nights. So I think we're doing fine in that area. But we obviously need to get Draymond back in the mix because he's such a huge part of our game at both ends, and he changes a lot of things. He handles the ball a lot offensively, obviously, and that's a different field for us. So we need to see him, down the stretch to kind of get used to playing with him again.
The rebounding numbers were better against the Lakers after 3
Yeah.
pretty bad games. How much of that was just emphasis? I know you talked about pounding that home to them before the game. But
Yeah, I think that was the players were definitely in tune with that, knowing that we had been destroyed. I think three games in a row, and we have been a very good rebounding team all year. So I expected that to turn, and it did. But we got to be on our toes.
Steve, with Draymond out, who have you kind of leaned on to step up, or who do you need to lean on more to step up defensively?
Defensively, it really becomes a team-wide effort. Draymond's not there to clean up, broken plays, so we've got to be connected. And we've had a stretch now of a couple of weeks where we haven't been connected, and it's all those little things I was just talking about, transition and rebounding. And if all 5 guys aren't on the same page, then we don't have one guy who can sort of, tie it all together like Draymond can. So it requires everybody kind of, putting their mind to it and really putting a lot of energy into it.
Great, let's go to one on Zoom. Monty Poole, go ahead.
Steve, obviously you coach a team with some established stars, but I'm looking at 3 guys, and Damian and Gary and Juan, who kind of got to the NBA the long way. I'm wondering, what have they brought to this team, not necessarily on the court, but just in general, the culture, the chemistry? What do they bring to this team?
Well, there's a grit and a toughness about those guys, and I think they are great examples for the rest of our young players. That it really is all about the work, no matter where you start. You can be a first-round pick or undrafted, but other than rookie money and guaranteed money, it's all about the work. And learning how to be a pro. And those guys had no chance to make it in the league if they couldn't figure out how to be a pro and how to work and how to compete. And so they add an element of toughness and grit to our team that I love.
Have you seen them ways in which they help Jordan and maybe the rookies you have now?
Yeah, I think it's, just a daily ritual that our guys have of getting extra work and being in the training room, being in the weight room, making sure they're doing their jobs. I think all of those things are good examples for the young guys, the rookies and the young players to examples to follow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that.